start doing the dress services?
We started in the spring. We did one there, which had, I was on sax. We had drummer and Cantor on the piano.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's my wife just showed up to go coat. And then last month we added David and added the ladies on strings, and Carl joined us.
Mm-hmm.
And now we've added you and Fred. So.
Look at that.
Welcome, and then you're going to introduce what this is. Good evening, everyone. Welcome. Shabbat Shalom. And Chag Urim Sameach. Happy Hanukkah to everyone. We are very, very excited to be here for Jazz Shabbat 2.0.
Hanukkah version.
So, as you can see, there is an incredible group of musicians here who are going to be assisting Cantor Agar in leading us in a beautiful service tonight. And I wanted to ask Cantor Agar just to introduce his vision of what you're going to be listening to tonight. So, Chazan?
So tonight will be, since it's Hanukkah, I took the Hanukkah melodies and with Aaron's help, they've been arranged to fit the liturgy. So you hear very, very familiar Hanukkah melodies set to the liturgy. And then they've been made into a jazz style. So there's two things going on at once. And it should be very joyful and fun to fit the season that we're in of joy and happiness and celebration.
Fabulous. So buckle up your seatbelts. Get ready for some wonderful, wonderful music. And again, here's what we're trying to do, which is, as the Cantor said, we are trying to create new ways of experiencing the power of our prayer life. And so the music is a vehicle for you to participate in offering up what's in your heart to God and to use the liturgy of Jewish tradition to help reach God. So your singing and your involvement is incredibly important to make this experience. We're not here to be spectators like we are at a jazz club listening to great musicians. We're here to be pouring out our hearts along with this group so that we can connect with God. So looking forward to this Hanukkah edition of Jazz Shabbat, and we begin on page 13 of your prayer book with Shalom Aleichem.
Set to Hanerot Halalu.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei HaMlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Bogem Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei מלאכינו, ממלך מלאכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא, צדקם לשלום, מלאכי השלום, מלאכי השלום, מלאכינו, ממלך מלאכי המלכים, הקדוש
Join with us as we turn ahead to page 16 and continue. Yismachu Hashamayim, the heavens rejoice, to the melody of Mi Yimalel. Page 16.
ישמחו השמיים את עגל הארץ, יירם הים ומלואו ומלואו. ישמחו השמיים את עגל הארץ, יירם הים ומלואו, יירם הים יעלוז וכל אשר בו, אל ירננו כל עצי יד. ישמחו השמיים את עגל הארץ, יירם הים ומלואו ומלואו. ישמחו השמיים את עגל הארץ, יירם הים ומלואו ומלואו.
Turn ahead with us to page 19 as we continue 3 lines from the bottom of the page with Romamu. Let us exalt God to this melody of Sivivon. Sof, sof, sof.
רוממו אדוני אלוהינו וישתחוו אדוני אלוהינו כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו אלוהינו רוממו אדוני אלוהינו וישתחוו אדוני אלוהינו כי קדוש כי קדוש
How many
Yes.
rehearsals did you guys have?
1.5.
Wow. I'm impressed. We're continuing. Psalm 29, Mizmor LeDavid, is on page 20 of our prayer book. I say this every week. It's traditional to rise for this psalm, but many of us feel like Shabbat's a time to rest. So if you're comfortable seated, feel free to be seated. If you want to be traditional, please feel free to stand. And this is to the melody of Hanukkah, O Hanukkah, page 20, Mizmor LeDavid. We have a very traditional crowd.
Havul Adonai b'nei li, Havul Adonai kavod va'oz, Havul Adonai kevod shemo, Hishtachavu Adonai behadrat kodesh, Kol Adonai al hamayim, el hakavod yirim Adonai al mayim rabim, Kol Adonai ba'koach, Kol Adonai behadrat. Havul Adonai b'nei li, Havul Adonai kavod va'oz, Havul Adonai kevod shemo, Hishtachavu Adonai behadrat kodesh, Kol Adonai al hamayim, el hakavod yirim Adonai al mayim rabim, Kol Adonai ba'koach, Kol Adonai behadrat.
Please be seated. We're going to come now to the heart of Kabbalat Shabbat. L'chadoti is found on page 21 and 22. We're going to do the first, second, and last verse on page 21, and then we'll rise again as we greet God's presence, the Shekhinah, as we skip to the last verse on page 22. And you're going to hear this melody done to the Ocho Candelitas, the beautiful Ladino, yes, melody for the 8 candles of Hanukkah, page 21 of your prayer book.
And before we start, I just want to teach everyone the refrain. So I'll sing and you repeat.
Lecha dodi likrat kala,
Lechadodi likrat kala,
Pnei Shabbat nekavela.
B'nei Shabbat nekabela.
Lecha dodi likrat kala,
Lechadodi likrat kala,
Pnei Shabbat nekavela.
B'nei Shabbat nekabela.
Beautiful, awesome. So now you can sing along with me.
Lecha dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekavela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekavela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibbur echad, Hishmi'anu b'lam miyuchad, Adonai echad, Shemo echad, V'shem tiferet. B'let kila, Lecha dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekavela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekavela. Likrat Shabbat v'kuvim elecha, בחילה דודי לקראת כלה דודי שבת וקבלה דודי לקראת כלה דודי שבת וקבלה התעוררי התעוררי כי העורר נגלה וקדודי לקראת כלה ונשמה נקבלה וקדודי לקראת כלה שכשנה נקבלה בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה גם בשמחה דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת תקבלה דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה
Dasha Koach, please be seated. By the way, I saw actually Jews dancing in a prayer service. I saw it with my own eyes. That was beautiful. That was fabulous. We're going to continue the service on page 23. Tzadika Tamar. This is not to a Hanukkah melody, is it not?
Yeah, this one is very unusual. We're not setting it to a Hanukkah melody. We're doing something very out of the norm. It's going to be the traditional Tzadika Tamar.
Kabbalat Shabbat with Mourner's Kaddish. As we invite any of you who are in the process of mourning or observing a yard site to please rise as we conclude page 24. Kaddish Tom. Yit Gadal v'yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
V'yalma divrach Yerutei v'yamlich malchutei. V'chayechon v'yomechon. V'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael. V'agala uvizman kariv v'yimru. Amen. Yehi Shemei Rabbah mevorach leolam omei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yit pa'ar, v'yit romam, v'yit naseh, v'yit hadar, v'yit aleh, v'yit halal, shemei dekudesha barichu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tush b'chata v'nechemata, damiran v'alma v'yimru. Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru.
Amen.
Amen. We ask God who grants peace and comfort on high to bring peace and comfort to those of you who are remembering your loved ones. I just tried to see if I could get the cordless to work, and it doesn't. Okay. Not working. Okay. I wanted to just invite people, if people would mind, I just want to ask people just to go around this room and just say their names. I think it would be very lovely for people to be able to, even though most people are wearing masks, to be able to put parts of faces with names together, or maybe quickly take your mask off to say hello and just introduce. Let's start with our band members.
David Banker,
Mervyn Toussaint.
Aaron Grosky.
Fred Paritsky, Carl Hittinger,
Tess Zakreski.
Maureen Gildar.
Jacob Agar.
David Glanzberg-Krainin.
Elliot Miller, Roger Davis.
Amy Cohen, Shelley Hittinger, Cindy Toussaint, Beverly Sherrill,
Ward Hickman.
Ellen Hickman, Kathy Banker, Marlene Kessler,
Dean Abrams. Ira Spector.
Melanie Fulton, Heidi Mermelstein, Arlene Bieber,
Stephen Bieber. Herb Sachs.
Alice Sachs, Gary Lieberman.
Joe Lieberman.
Shabbat Shalom and Chagarim Sameach to everyone. We're really glad you're here. And again, we particularly want to thank all of our musicians for being here and bringing beautiful music to Beth Shalom congregation, our Cantor for making this possible. And if you ever find yourself at a Shiva minyan with Cantor Agar and he finds out that you play a musical instrument, you might be coming to Beth Shalom very soon. So he'll find you. He will find you. I want to just do just a quick word of Torah, and I promise it's going to be short because it's Friday night and we're tired. So we know that Hanukkah was actually a resistance of a group of we might call them zealots, Jews, who wanted to resist assimilation into Greek society. And one of the paradigmatic symbols of Greek society was not only their philosophy and math, but the Olympics. And back in the day, you competed in the Olympics. You were male, obviously, if you did, and you competed in the nude. And one of the primary symbols of the Olympics, which is still a symbol that we have today, is the Olympic torch. It is the light that is brought to each city that is carrying the Olympics. But I want to contrast the Greek view of light and the Olympics with the Jewish view of light, which is that in the Olympics, what matters is that you win, or maybe you come in second, or maybe you come in third. But basically, unless you win, you're forgotten in most of the Olympic world. And the Jewish vision is completely antithetical to that vision of winners and losers, because the Hanukkah has a shamash which lights each candle, and each time that shamash lights, the shamash is not diminished in the lighting of the other candles. And so each candle brings more light to the world. There's not a winner or a loser. There's just more light. And I think that's very resonant for those of you who have ever had a child who was awaiting the birth of a brother or sister, and who's concerned that if there's another child born into a family, there's not going to be enough love for that one child if another child comes. But what children come to learn, we hope, is that love can just grow And each addition to a family can just increase the love in the family. And so the Chanukiah and the Shamash are about the fact that we can increase the light without diminishing anyone else, in contrast to the Olympic torch, which says there are winners and there are losers. A second message I want to say about the Chanukiah is that each of the candles in a traditional Chanukiah, except for the Shamash, have to be at the same level, right? And part of what that is saying is that each, as we get to the sixth night tonight when we're lighting, each candle is equally valuable. There's not one candle that's more or less valuable. And the notion being that each human being is of infinite and equal worth, and that we don't place the candles at different levels because there is no night of Hanukkah or no sense that one is greater than the other. And part of what we as Jews understand is that each one of us has that infinite sense of light that is found within each one of us, and our job in life is to find that light within and to bring it into the world, because what we are here to do, what God has put us here to do, is to bring that light that only we have uniquely, but that we need to bring to the world in order for the world to ultimately become a world of redemption. So as we look at the lights of the Chanukiah, whether or not you're going to light them when you get back or you've lit them before you came to services tonight, the goal is to find your light, because it's equally necessary in this world, and to find ways to put it into the world, as all of you who are here tonight making music for us are bringing light from your own neshamot, your own souls, and your own talents that you've developed to bring light to us tonight. So we thank you. So with that, we're going to invite people to turn back to their prayer books as we now prepare for the evening service. Mariv begins with the Baruch Hu on page 28 of your Siddur.
Baruch hu et Adonai Baruch.
Baruch Adonai Mevorach le'olam vahed.
Baruch Adonai Baruch le'olam vahed.
We invite you to be seated as we continue now, privately, page 28.
Umavir yom v'layla, umavadil ben yom v'layla, Adonai tzvaot Hashemo, Elokai v'kayam, Tamid yimlok aleinu le'olam vaed, Baruch atah Adonai, Amari v'aravi.
Amen. Join us as we sing Ahavat Olam, page 29.
Ahavat olam et Yisrael.
Ahavat Olam Beit Yisrael.
ויהבתך, התסיר ממנו לעולמים, ברוך אתה אדוני,
Baruch Shema.
אוהב עמו ישראל. שמע ישראל, אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני אחד. ברוך שם כבוד מלכותו לעולם ועד. ויעבד את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם להיות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. והיה אם שמוע תשמעו מצוותי אשר נותנים מצוותיהם היום. ישריך, למען ירבו ימיכם וימיכם, על האדמה אשר נשבע אדוני לאבותיכם לתת להם, כימי השמיים על הארץ. ויאמר אדוני אל משה לאמור, דבר אל בני ישראל, ואמרת עליהם, ויעשו להם ציצית על כנפי בגדיהם לדורותם, ונתנו על ציצית הכנף פתיל תכלת, והיה לכם לציצית, וריתם אותו, וזכרתם את כל מצוות אדוני, ועשיתם אותם, ולא תדורו אחרי לבביכם ואחרי עיניכם, אשר אתם זונים אחריכם, למען תזכרו, ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם, אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים, אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם.
We continue now, page 32 of your prayer book.
המחוזות
המחוזות וקיים עלינו. Cantor and the band will be continuing in the middle of the page with Mi Chamocha to Al Hanisim.
ומלכותו ברצון קיבלו עליהם, משה בני ישראל קנו שירה בשמחה רבה ואמרו כולם. מי כמוך ביילים מתונה, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, נורא תהילו אוסף מלכותך ראו בניך, חוקי הים לפני משה, זה אלינו ויאמרו אדוני ימלוך לעולם בהם, ונאמר כיפדה את יעקב, וגיה לו מיד חזק ממנו, מי כמוך ביילים מתונה, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, נורא תהילו אוסף ברוך אתה אדוני גל ישראל.
And we continue with Hashkivenu on page 33.
השכנת אלוהינו ופרוס עלינו סוכה שלומך ברוך אתה אדוני, הפורס סוכה שלום עלינו כל עמו ישראל ויעל ירושלים.
We now continue page 34, Vishamru to the melody of Ma'ot Sur.
Let's just also, before we do this one, I'll also teach you quickly. So I'll sing it and you repeat. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael.
Vishamru v'nei Yisrael.
One more time. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael.
Vishamru v'nei Yisrael.
את השבת לעשות את השבת
לעשות את השבת
לדורותם ברית עולם.
לדורותם ברית עולם.
All right, awesome. So now you can sing along.
some silence and your own prayers in just a moment. We continue now, page 34. If you're able to rise, we invite you to do so. The Chatzi Kaddish and then the Amidah will be recited privately.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה
Amen.
בעלמא דברי קירותי וימליך מלכותי בחיי כל וביום כל וחיי כל בית ישראל בגלה בגלה ובזמן קריב ויאמרו אמן ישמי רבה מבורך לעולם ולעלמי עמיה יתברך יתברך וישתבח ויתהדר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתהלל ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו ואלה מן הכל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דמירן ביעלמה ויאמרו אמן.
We invite those of you who have completed the Amidah on this Rosh Chodesh, on this Hanukkah, to be seated. We'll conclude with Oseh Shalom, to a day in the life, if you know that melody.
It's also known as Black Orpheus. This one's not a Hanukkah melody. It's just a jazz bossa nova melody, but it's very nice.
invite you to rise as the Cantor leads us in Kiddush on page 49.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei bari hagashem.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitsheh mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodesho b'ahava uvrasson hinkilanu zikaro lemase v'reishit כי הוא יום תחילה למקרא קודש זכר לסיעת מצרים קיוונו בחרת יותנו קידשת בכל העמים ושבת קודשך Yava uveratson hinchaletanu Baruch atah Adonai Mikadesh Hashavat Amen. L'chaim.
L'chaim. And while you're standing, we'll invite you to turn to page 51 as we continue Aleinu.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הרצון, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל עמונם, ואנחנו גורעים לפני מלך ומלאכי המלאכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו
We want to invite those of you who are in the process of mourning or observing a yard site to remain standing as we invite those who are saying Kaddish to join with me on page 52 of our prayer books. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabba v'yalma divrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael ba'agala u'vizman kariv v'yimru. Amen. Yehei shemei Rabba mevorach li'olam omei almaya yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh V'yitadar, v'yit'aleh, v'yit'halal, shemei dekudesha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tush b'chata v'nechemata, damiran b'alma v'yimru. Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael v'yimru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael v'yimru. And we ask God, who brings peace and comfort on high, to bring peace and comfort to those of you who are remembering our loved ones. So we want to say thank you to David, to Mervyn, to Aaron, to Fred, to Carl, to Lisa, to Tess, to Lauren, and to our Cantor for a beautiful, beautiful evening of music on Jazz Shabbat 2.0 Hanukkah edition. What's next? It was really, really lovely, and thank you all for contributing your gifts, your talents, and your light to our Shabbat and our celebration of Hanukkah this Shabbat. We do have a couple of brief announcements to make you aware of. Tomorrow morning services at 9:30 here. We're very, very happy to let the community know that our morning minyan, which had been meeting on Mondays and Thursdays in person, but met for the 8 days of, or is planning to meet for the 8 days of Hanukkah, with the exception of Sunday, because actually It's complicated, but Sunday will be a Zoom. But starting Monday, we will be in person every day for morning minyan at Beth Sholom congregation. We'll, of course, still continue to have Zoom. But we want to invite everyone to know that there will be minyan here. We'd love as many of you to come. And you know that not only do you get to pray to God and be with people that you like, start your day, but there will be breakfast as well. So if you're not coming for God, you can come for the food. So that's starting Monday. We'll be back in person, God willing, as well as online and Zoom. We have a wonderful program for Hanukkah tomorrow, starting for our preschool families at 4:30 with some food at 5 o'clock. The Chazan is going to be leading us in some Hanukkah melodies. We're going to be then moving into Havdalah and lighting of our Chanukiot, and we are going to have a mad science light show. So we're going to have our mad science light guy coming explaining lots of things about light. It's great for kids. It's great for adults. We hope that lots of you will be here. While that's happening, there's also going to be multiple latkes for you to taste, and you can judge. Find your favorite latke, FYFL. We're going to actually have you vote on it. In addition, you're going to get to taste some great wines. Most of them will be Israeli wines, so you get to have latkes and wine tasting. And for those of you with kids or grandkids, there's going to be a person here making balloon hats for children. And for you who have inner children in you, you don't have to be under 13 to wear a hat made out of a balloon on your head. We'll actually even take a photograph of you and put it on our website if you want to. So that, and we'll also have sufganiyot to end the evening. It should be over by about 7, so you can still make your plans if you wish, but starting really from 5, unless you have a preschooler at 4:30, to 7, we'll be celebrating Hanukkah. We also have a wonderful program for our Agar students to celebrate Hanukkah on Sunday at noon. There's going to be a donut truck and a video game truck that you can do either indoor or outdoor video games. So that's going to be fun on Sunday as well. Take a look at your upcoming Beth Sholom in your home for all the classes, events, and things going on. Jamie Friedman is leading a wonderful group for moms and grandmoms to talk about those relationships, those important relationships. That's going to be Wednesday evening, December 7th, and you'll find out how to connect, again, when you look at your Beth Sholom in your home. And that's about all I have in the way of announcements. Chazan, do you have anything you want to share?
I just want to say thank you very much to Aaron Grosky. He helped me so much with the arrangements for this evening. So a lot of what you heard
My
was Aaron's, were Aaron's arrangements. So thank you so much to Aaron.
Yasher koach. Yasher koach. All right. All right, I think the band is going to take us out to a reprise of Ocho Candelitas
Ocho Candelitas, yes.
to Adon Olam, page
Adon Olam.
54.
And feel free to dance and sing along. Yeah.
Adon Olam asher malach בטרם כל יציר נברא ונשא בחפצו כל אזי מלך שמו נקרא ואחרי ככלות הכל לבדו ימלוך נורא והוא היה והוא עובד והוא יהיה בתפארה והוא אחד ואין שני להמשילו להכבירה בלי ראשית ולא תכלית אלוהי ומקרא בידו אפתיד רוחי ויהי שד ויהירה ויהי גוויעתי אדוני לי ולא יירא. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Chag Urim Sameach. Yasher Koach.
Thank you everyone for
All
coming.
right.
Shabbat Shalom.
Well done, guys. Thank you. Well done.
Pleasure, definitely.
Have to do this sometime again.
Today, pleasure.
Yeah, it was fun playing. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. What was that?
Place you play fairly regularly?
Just kind of around the city. Yeah, just kind of, just generally around the city. I play a decent amount at Chris's Jazz Cafe. I frequent. But yeah, I'm kind of anywhere and everywhere for the most part. Yeah. So, yeah, I try to get around. Huh?
Did you have to stop for a while, right? With the pandemic came in?
Yeah.
Nobody was doing anything.
Yeah. Yeah, so I teach private lessons, so I was trying the whole Zoom teaching thing, which was,
Yeah, I told some other people trying to teach.
but
Delay.
yeah, oh my, honestly, most of the lesson was, wait, I can't hear you, I think you muted your microphone. Yeah, so, but now things are starting to open back up, and I'm starting to teach in person, so it's definitely better than teaching online.
Well, it was a pleasure.
Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully we'll get to play again.
I'm playing tomorrow. Are you playing tomorrow night?
All the stuff I can leave here, but thank you. It's me. I'll pick that up later.
There's a blue bag here.
Yeah, I brought music and that thing in the blue bag.
Would you like your music back? Would you like your copies back, or?
No.
Okay.